Good morning, everyone. First thing, I'd just like to say thank you so much to all those people who have contributed to the Buy Me a Coffee page. I am most grateful. Couldn't start the day without a cup of coffee, and it's really, really kind of those people. Thank you so much for contributing. Anyway, what I wanted to do today was to have a bit of a play, because one of the things I wanted when I went to, well, I was looking for, when I went to Alexandra Palace to the craft show the other day, was for layering stencils. And several stalls had some layering stencils, but they were all kind of ordered things. They were all, as the shading is supposed to be and all this kind of stuff. It wasn't quite what I had in my mind. I don't know quite what I did have in my mind, but it wasn't quite what I saw. So I came away empty-handed as far as that is concerned. But today I thought, I've got loads of resources at my fingertips here. Why can't I use something that I've got already? So I got out this morning my box of stencils that I have made myself. Now these are either cut on my silhouette portrait machine, or I have used a die to cut them with my Platinum 6. Most of them are made from Mylar. Since I discovered Mylar, I have been using that, which is really, really lovely for stencils. Prior to that, I used to use like this, bits of acetate. This was with a die. So you can make a stencil with a piece of card and then throw it, which is fine. But since I discovered Mylar, I really rather like it. Today I have just ordered some more stuff, but I've off Amazon, and I'm going to try the Sizzix stuff that they make for stencils. So we'll see what it's like. I couldn't see the exact same thing that I bought here, but we'll see what it's like. Anyway, what I thought I would do, rather than use a layered stencil, is to use a couple of the stencils that I've cut myself. So, looking through, what I have a vision of is a larger shape, or a leaf or a butterfly or something like that I know I've cut, and then to overlay it with a different stencil so that I get one colour or pattern or whatever on the basic one, and then I add to it with a second one. I think layering stencils, you take one off and put one back on or something. I did a card a couple of weeks ago with a leaf that had separate veining inside with a second stencil. So I kind of used two then, but I just thought I would have a look through and see what I could find. Now that I cut myself with a die. Can't remember the make of the die, actually. But that might be quite a nice one. I've got a card panel here, and because of I've put it onto a sticky mat. Because of the technique I'm going to use, I have cut my panel to the size I need, because I want to be using some form of texture paste or something later. And obviously, if I try and die cut it after I've used texture paste, I will flatten the paste. So I've cut it first. So that's that one. That could fit quite nicely onto there, couldn't it? And the joy of a stencil, of course, unlike a die, you can have it going whichever way you fancy. Quite like it going that way, actually. So if I put that on there, the outside of it should stick to the sticky mat, shouldn't it? Now, this is another one I cut myself. I cut this on the portrait. That might look quite nice on top, and it's big enough. Let's try those two. I did wonder about that one. That's just dots. I think it's supposed to be snow, really and truly, but we won't worry about that. Let's just go with what's there. Put these away a minute. So what I am thinking is this. I am thinking, I am going to put a little bit of reposition of the teeth. See, this is just sort of popping up a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of repositionable adhesive spray on the back, just to make sure those stay down. I'm not going to do it near the camera. I'm just going to go over here, and I do have ventilation in my room if anybody's worried. Right. Only need a touch. This is the stuff I'm using. Stick and Spray from Crafter's Companion. A repositionable adhesive. There we go. Oops. Right. About there. So now that middle bit should stick down as well. Can't get the top on. There we go. It's done. Now, what I was thinking I would do is to put a couple of shades of green ink through the stencil onto this leaf, and then I would add this one over the top and put some kind of texture paste on it. And then, do you know, I've got boxes and boxes of these. When I've been to craft shows in Birmingham particularly, and Wow had a stall there, it was just so tempting, and they had such good offers where you had a box like this with a kind of a set of themed embossing powders. I couldn't be. I've got stacks of them, absolutely stacks, and I really ought to use them. And this one had a, no, that's not the one I was thinking of. That's not it, that's purple. That's gold might be quite nice. That's pink. And that one's got a green in. What's this one called? Dusky Woodland. Whoa, that's nice, isn't it? And what's this one called? Enchanted Forest. Well, I'm on the right lines, aren't I? Forest and woodland with a leaf. So we'll use one of those. Might even use both. Who knows? We could go mad, couldn't we? Right. First thing, let me take this off. Sticking where I don't want it to. First thing is to do some inking. So I will get a blending brush, and I'm just thinking, I bought, and I've never used, I bought some small ones. Look at this. Gee, I've never used these yet. These are small blending brushes. Look, I've got a bunch. I bought a set. These are the ones. Is there another one? Yeah, there's one there. Some are angled and some are straight. That's interesting, isn't it? I wonder what the difference is for them. There's 1, 2, 3 angled ones and 3 with flat tops. Well, I don't know. We'll just have a. I'll put them down there and I'll use them in a minute. Oopsie-daisy. Right. Let me start with. I've got peeled paint and the old favourite Rustic Wilderness here. So I'm going to start with some peeled paint, and I'm just going to go through this stencil onto my card panel. I don't know whether I think the lighter bits would be on the edge, wouldn't they, really? So if I put the lighter bits on the edge, and then we can darken up with the Rustic Wilderness in the centre, perhaps. Well, let's just see. Right. Let's have a look at which one of these should I? I'll just use a little one, I think. I'll try this chap. No, perhaps he's a bit wide. I'll try a smaller one. Never use them, so you can see they're pristine. Absolutely pristine. Let's just see. It's gone quiet again, hasn't it? I have this habit of, when I'm concentrating, losing the power of speech. Right, how are we doing? This is fun. I haven't tried this before. It's really rather fun. I like it. Nice, isn't it? Well, I say it's nice. I hope it's going to be nice. I'm just looking. Well, that looks quite interesting, doesn't it? There's a bit loose there. Perhaps I can cut it off. Don't know what that's all about. There we go. Right. Do I need to dry that off, I ask myself. No, I don't think I do. Now, here's my bit of whatever it is. And perhaps I should do the same with this. Put a little bit of spray on this just to make sure it stays down. Doesn't need much at all. There we are. Right, let's just... Can we cover all the leaves? Can we find somewhere where all the leaves are covered? I think that does it. Right, now, first stencil in place, second stencil on the top, and I think we will try some super thick Slap It On. I think any texture paste would do, really. But I like this one, and I just happen to have it handy, so good enough reason. Here we go. Let's put a bit of this on. I don't think I need much, to be honest. I think if you take it too much off, then you don't get that dimension that you need. Right, now I'm just going to wipe this off because any texture paste, whatever you use on a stencil or an implement or whatever, will set if you don't do something about it. So either have a bowl of water that you can just drop your things into, or wipe them off with the baby wipe. Oh, look at that. Oh my. I'm just going to pop these into, I've got a bowl of water down here. Well, it's like an ice cream tub really, but you know what I mean. Whoa, look at that. Now this is what I was kind of after when I was looking at Alexandra Palace, but it was all the shading, and this is kind of more random. Now, which one shall I use? I think this one looks a bit more subtle, really. Let's take this off the sticky mat, and then I can put it onto a piece of scrap to do my embossing. Actually, that would be quite nice, just left like that, wouldn't it? Because that would dry clear and there'd just be sort of shiny patches on. But anyway, here we go. Let's try some of this. And when you add embossing powder to texture paste of any sort, you've kind of got two options, really. You can either let it just dry naturally, or you can speed up the process by using your heat tool. Because I'm doing a video, I think I'm going to try the heat tool option. I'm just hoping that doesn't, because there's going to be a bit of glue on there, isn't it? But I think that's glitter, and it will probably brush off, says she, hopefully. If not, I will stamp a splatter over it, or splatter a splatter over it, or something myself. So let's just say I'm going to try heat embossing. Often you get bubbling if you heat dry some embossing paste of some description. Here we go. Wow, look at this. Isn't that fab? Now, I wonder if I can get rid of some of the... tell you what I'll use. Where is it? Never find things when I want them. No. I have got an embossing tool, not an embossing tool, an anti-static tool that has got a tiny brush on the end, which it kind of comes out of. Never mind, let's try something else. Here we go. Oops. I'm going to just put a little bit of talcum powder on there. There we go. Coming off. I should probably have wiped this beforehand. So we're going to have to do the alternative, I think. I should have. It's because I had this the repositionable adhesive spray on the stencil to start with, because that has grabbed some of the glitter in the embossing powder. So let's do something else. Let us do, will that fit? Yes, I think so. Looks a bit grubby. Probably didn't put it away properly. This is my Nuvo stamp cleaning cloth, which I really like. Okay, let's have some. Don't know if this is a sensible thing or not, really. We'll just see. I have no idea if this is going to do the job. Right. What I want to do is just try and disguise some of these bits. So we'll have one there, and we will have one there. Let's see, it might be a total mess, but now I'm looking for gold embossing powder that I didn't have before. There it is. Here's some pale rich gold. Okay. Get rid of that. Right, we'll try again. Right, here we go. Heat emboss. Before I do that, I've just spotted a couple of bits. I just don't want these two here. They're lines rather than splatters. That's better. Right, here we go. There we go. I'm quite happy with that now. I think that's a bit of a rescue, really. And I would probably have a little sentiment going, perhaps a tiny one, just going across somewhere like that. So there we go. Disaster averted once more. And it's kind of what I was after, but I think I'm going to do a bit more experimenting and see what else I can kind of come up with. So this can go onto another card. It needs a bit of, the tape will flatten it out because of that, all that embossing. The foam tape to put it onto the card base will flatten it out completely. And I'll do a small sentiment, probably embossed in gold. And I have a fancy for it across there. Still want to keep a little bit of white space. So there you go. It's a bit of fun, isn't it? I just hope you'll all have a go as well at, using what you've got. It is just so much fun. Thanks so much for watching.